Hello, this is Scott Balicki. I'm a chemistry teacher at Boston Latin School, and in this screencast, I'm going to describe how to fill out the hazardous materials permit application forms. So first of all, what is the purpose of permitting? Schools store on site chemical substances which are flammable, which may be oxidizers, which are combustible. These are potentially hazardous substances. So the Boston Fire Department grants annual permits in order for schools to continue to do this. So the permit application process actually represents a level of cooperation and data sharing between the Boston Public Schools and the Boston Fire Department. And it's a means to ensure effective management of chemical inventory. An important thing that the permitting process accomplishes is it actually provides a layer of safety for first responders. Firefighters are first responders who would be called to the scene of a laboratory accident. So in the event of an emergency in a chemical storeroom or a chemical lab, firefighters would be on the scene quickly. As the result of the hazardous materials permit forms, the firefighters will have a sense of their level of risk in responding to emergencies in a chemical stockroom or in a chemistry lab at a school. And that ensures that they are going into emergencies with as much information as possible, which helps them do their job as safely as possible. Now, those are some of the things that permitting is set to accomplish. Permitting is not intended to micromanage teacher decisions. Permitting is not about double checking the minutia of inventory. The chemical inventory listed that there were 500 milliliters of 12 molar hydrochloric acid, but in fact, there are 700 milliliters of 12 molar hydrochloric acid. That's not the purpose of the permit application. And the hazardous materials permit application has nothing to do with teacher evaluation. So, some more details about the permitting process. This is something that needs to happen annually by November 1st. Submitting the hazardous materials permit application annually by November 1st is the responsibility of the principal or headmaster. However, teachers may be called upon to help because chemistry teachers, for example, will have an intimate knowledge of the contents of the chemistry stockroom. Both teachers and principals or headmasters were invited to be able to view and edit the Flynn Chemventory, the chemical inventory management system that is supported by the Boston Public Schools Science Department. So let's get into the details of completing the permitting form. This form is an Excel spreadsheet which can be downloaded from the BPS Science Weebly. And let me show you exactly what it looks like. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that needs to be filled out. The first tab of the spreadsheet is the tab which is edited by the teacher or principal headmaster, okay? Namely in Table 2 involving unit conversions and Table 3 involving storage information for particularly hazardous chemicals. By filling out this first tab, the actual hazardous materials permit application form on the second tab is populated. All right, so let me show you how this works hand in hand with the chemical inventory. So I'm going to my Flynn Chemventory for my school, and I noticed in Table 3 on the permit application form that glacial acetic acid is one of the substances which is listed, okay, and that we have, according to my inventory, 1.9 liters on site. So first, I need to convert from 1.9 liters gallons. 1.9 liters is 0.5 gallons. The fire department using English units as opposed to the SI units for which our inventory and chemical supply companies use. So I need to fill in the English units in the glacial acetic acid row right here, 0.5 gallons. And by filling out that substance here, it also puts 0.5 gallons in the flammable class 2 liquids portion of the total quantities stored by chemical type. This is what the fire department is most concerned with in terms of assessing risk and managing safety of firefighters. Okay, is this table right here, which is also copied into the HazMat application form itself on the second tab. All right, and notice also how in table 3, there are a lot of chemicals in there, but there are a lot of them where the cells are gray. That means that they don't pose any of the risks listed in table 1, so they therefore don't need to be included in the hazardous materials permit application form. Well, let's try another one. I see acetone. We have 600 milliliters of acetone. So I'm going to convert the 600 milliliters of acetone here. And that gets me 0.2 gallons. So I'm going to fill out 0.2 gallons there. And now I see as a flammable class 1 liquid, there's 0.2 gallons up here in table 1. Now, we don't have any acetic anhydride, so I didn't fill out that particular row. Let's try one more. I see that acetylsalicylic acid is poisonous, so I need to list that. So I see in my chemical inventory that we have 15 grams of it on site. So I'm going to convert that from 15 grams, and that gets me 0 pounds. The spreadsheet is still rounding down. So what I would recommend that you do in this instance is list the smallest possible quantity, round up a little bit. All right, so this isn't going to have any sort of consequence for your school. It's merely going to indicate to the firefighters that there is some quantity of poisonous solid on site. And so this is a means of preparing them for what they could encounter in responding to an accident on site. All right, so this is the best way that we can do our part to try and keep first responders safe and informed. All right, and we see that all of this has now been populating the hazardous materials application itself. All right, so that's how the Excel spreadsheet, which can be downloaded from bpsscience.weebly.com on the science safety page, can work with the Chemventory chemical inventory management system. Now, there are a couple of other things that I should mention at this point. November 1st is also a date in which the inventory should be emailed to the science department, and it's a good time, because these other tasks are going on, to update the safety data sheet binder. Both of these can be easily accomplished in the Chemventory system through the inventory list functions. So if we click on that and say email inventory list, that will automatically email the inventory list, and we want to send it to bps.science@gmail.com. All right, so that's one thing that we want to take care of. The next is the hard copy of the safety data sheets. If we select all of the substances in our inventory by clicking all and go to inventory list functions and say print SDS, that will give us a PDF of all chemicals in our inventory. In the case of my school, that's 209 safety data sheets that are downloaded into a single PDF. This PDF can be printed out, and we can make a photocopy of it, one to go in the binder in the main office, and one to go in the binder that is stored in the chemistry lab. So, for more information, there will be informational meetings in the fall, dates to be determined. You can always look up more safety information on the BPS Science Weebly and email bps.science@gmail.com with any questions.